obviously go on Google or on the internet, type in the bag color you want. And for instance, a black mini Kelly, a lot of the internet are selling for 36K or maybe like 30 to 36K, right? But I can get it for a lot less because
Right.
you don't have to pay for eBay or, the internet, they take a certain amount of fee.
Hi, and welcome to Handbag Designer 101, the podcast with your host, Emily Blumenthal, handbag industry expert and the handbag fairy godmother. Each week, we uncover the stories behind the handbags we love, from the iconic brands and top designers to the creativity, craftsmanship, and culture that define the handbag world. Whether you're a designer, collector, or simply passionate about handbags, this is your front row seat to it all. Welcome, Chloe Chen, to Handbag Designer 101 podcast. You are Chloe Hermès fairy by trade and design at this point. Is that correct?
That's correct. Thank you for having me on the this morning.
I'm so excited to have you because honestly, the circular market, it is hot, hot, hot. And being able to purchase high-end bags, as we all know, is a struggle point and it's a challenge for a lot of people. So what you've created is kind of a way to bypass the difficulty and get your hands on those bags in an original form, correct?
Mhm. An original
Okay.
form.
Okay. So let's go, Chloe. Talk to us about Chloe Hermes Fairy.
Yeah. So the reason why I decided to help other source bags, because I had a hard time getting a bag at Hermes. I was trying to get a bag for years and couldn't get any until COVID, when my friend taught me how to. But even that was limited at the store because you can only purchase one or two bags, a year, and it has to be approved. And you have to spend a crazy amount in order to even get a bag. It might not be the color or the hardware that you want or the leather. So I have my husband's friends, wives reaching out to me because they've been spending over 50K at the store and they couldn't get a mini Kelly. And, I'm just thinking it's not that hard. If you can find reseller or someone who can source the bag for you, you're just paying one to two or three times more depending on what bag you're looking for. But that's still cheaper than spending 50, 60K getting a bag at the store. It might not be a color or hardware you want.
So, just to clarify for people who are unaware, to get into the Hermes store, you need an appointment, correct?
You don't need appointment unless you're in Paris.
Right, that's
In
true.
the US, you can walk in, you can shop.
Do
Go ahead.
they block you from purchasing unless you've made an investment large enough that they can justify that you're worthy of this bag, correct?
Yes. So
So
you
they
have
keep track of everything you've purchased in a database within the Hermes database to say, okay, you've spent enough, or okay, you haven't spent enough, therefore to be worthy enough to purchase this bag X, this Hermes bag XYZ, correct?
exactly.
So what you are doing is creating a gateway for people who have not committed 50 or $60,000 and therefore helping them get that bag without having to commit to such a brand investment. So whatever the extra fee or whatever that's paid is still cheaper than spending 60 grand in the store.
That's correct. Yes. And for them to, get their dream bag, their green dream color, the hardware, and, the size they want, especially the size. Because, ladies, they all want, a mini Kelly or a size Birkin 25 or Kelly 25. And that's the hardest to get at the Hermes store.
So, just to clarify one step further, if in the event you are approved to purchase a bag, the Hermes store can then dictate, no, you are not worthy enough to get the bag you actually want. Here's the list of bags that you're worthy of getting, correct?
Yes. So in order for you to get approved for a bag, it has to go through the general manager, the assistant manager, unless you spend over 100K. And, then they'll be like, okay, you can make a special order bag. But that's a lot of money to spend on a bag.
So, how did you get to this point of saying, like, okay,
You are obviously an Hermes customer, a loyal one at that. How did all this come to be? And how did you figure out this? I don't want to say loophole, but how did you figure out this? We'll call it a superpower to be able to get this bag that people want.
So it was actually during COVID after I had my first baby. I really wanted a Kelly bag, but I didn't want to wait at the store for the Kelly 28 I want or 25 because knowing my past experience of how much money that you have to spend, there was no way, the color, I was going to get the color. So I was doing research myself. I connected with resellers. I was very nervous because it was a, huge amount. It was 20K.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
So,
It's a
a
lot of
lot of
money for
money.
it. That's a lot of money for people even with money because it's money. Every dollar is somebody that someplace somewhere had to be earned. So it's a
Exactly.
lot of
And you
money.
don't know if it's, there's a lot of counterfeit bags out there. So it was very nerve-wracking. But the person happened to be in Miami that I was gonna meet up with, and she had the receipts and everything. So I was looking at the paper, I was examining because, I worked in retail. I sold Chanel bags, all these other designers. And I just happened to get really lucky. There was a lady that was walking by. My husband spotted her and she was carrying a size 25 Kelly. And he was like, "Come on over. My wife is actually purchasing this bag. Can you authenticate it for me?" And she came over and authenticated it for me.
Oh my God.
And, I knew when I held the bag it was real because it matched the serial number, it matched the
Right.
tag and everything. And she was a lawyer. She just wanted to sell her bag to fund her going back to school for more, higher education in the law
How
degree.
did you find her? You found her on the street? Like literally, like you were sitting there. Are you in Miami?
I'm in Fort Lauderdale, but this transaction was done in Miami, in
So
Brickell.
how did you find her?
Like the seller for the bag,
Yeah.
actually, I found her on, like looking on Facebook group.
Wow. From the people I've worked with and had on the podcast, the authenticators that we deal with have said that it's like 50% of what they get is fake without fail. And a lot of people who buy these bags are still spending top dollar thinking it was authenticated correctly and it wasn't. So again, it's a lot of money
That happens a lot. People get scammed all the time. Even
all the time.
I use like BB, which is like she's known to be the authenticator for Hermes, which a lot of people know, but it takes time. Like it could
And
take
what is
3 to 5 days.
what is the fee for having someone authenticated that's independent?
So for her, I believe it's 150, depending on like how fast you need it. I think 150 is within 36 hours. I think she's so backed up that there's only like one fee. You can't just pay like $500 and, do it within 12 hours. No.
Right,
There's
right, right, right.
other authenticators. I think that charges under $100, but they're not really
Right. Right, right,
reliable.
right.
I wouldn't use them for such a big purchase like this.
Right. Right, right, right. So, okay, we've met this woman on the street. Did you ship the bag to BB to have her check it out?
So for this one, this me working in handbags, the smell of, you can smell it's real leather because I own a Hermes bag myself prior to the second one.
Hmm.
So the leather, the stitching, just everything was like perfect. And then the stamp on the inside, the hardware, so nothing was off. And I was very lucky because she also had the receipt. And, someone was passing by that was dressed very nicely. My husband stopped and she, was addicted to Hermes because she has a huge collection herself. And she looked at it instantly and was like, "This is real."
Oh my God. Okay,
So,
so
and I have like feelings. I'm like, and when something's not right, I'm like, no. But
right.
everything just was like, okay, this is an authentic bag. Like, I don't need to, check with BB.
What did you do prior to all of this? What was your day job that allowed you to, not only have great taste, but to having worked in handbags before?
So at 16, I started Abercrombie, and then I worked my way up to like BCBG, Max Azria. It was funny because I just moved back to Philly, and they were hiring, and the manager had another sales associate. We were competing to see who has the how higher sales is how she determined who to hire. So it was very nerve-wracking. I was, I think, 20 at that time, or
Oh
maybe
my God.
19, and we only had like an hour to do it. Like, we weren't even paid on the job. So, the hour came, and then she did all the numbers, and I got hired right on the spot because I had a, bigger transaction. And then from there, I moved up to Saks Fifth Avenue, which was such a fun job for me, higher clientele. I used to be the personal stylist there in contemporary. And then I moved on to Neiman Marcus because Neiman Marcus had a bigger store and just more of a, like, a collection
Elevated.
for all around, like, for women and men. There's more to the store. So
Right.
I was there for a few years, and I was very into handbags myself, because I'm a collector myself, but I also love styling other people.
Right. 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 So you have interacted with product, you know how to be front facing. That is such just a hard skill. And so many people don't have that because you have to put yourself out there on such a grand level that whatever's going on in your head has got to disappear. It does not exist if you want to get people's attention to sell, and you have to be authentic. So, I mean, all of this probably goes back to the fact of you getting a sense of people and understanding, like, okay, I can trust that this person is an authentic human, which is a gut thing. You just have to go with it. Because if it didn't sit right, like, that's a lot of money to part with if something's giving you that funny tummy feeling.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So, now that I'm sourcing for other clients and friends and family, I always use BB because it's not me. Because they're, giving me 20, $30,000 of their own money. So I always use BB, and it takes a little while because I want to do it right. I don't want to sell them a counterfeit bag, and then that comes back to me.
So at this point, all right, you get your bag. Then what happens? Then what was the aha moment saying, hold on, there's a business in this?
Yeah, so that was and then I met the lady that, authenticated my bag, and she's traveled all around the world getting bags, and she kind of taught me, like, she's like, you have to meet the right SA at the Hermes store. Like, why don't you just go in and talk to them by, a
And
little
SA is sales associate,
sales
just to be,
associate.
yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
at Hermes.
Okay.
So a couple months later, I went to the Aventura Hermes store that just opened. And I met someone who was very friendly. We got along perfectly fine. We always joke. I bought things around the store that, I love. And then we talked about, what's the fastest I can, get my hand on the bag. And he told me, 6 months to a year. I was like, well, that's a long time. I already spent like 15K at that point. And then I got really lucky. He called me one day and was like, my manager approved, a bag for you. Come in. And I was like, well, what color is it? What hardware, what size? He's like,
That's
can't tell
crazy.
you. Can't tell you. So he took me back to the room, and it was like nerve-wracking because I don't know what to expect. And he
At
opened
this
it,
point,
and
are you like, just out of curiosity, hypothetically, let's just say it was a bag that was like hot pink croco. Now, obviously, well, I don't want to say obviously, but what if not only is that hot pink croco bag way beyond what you were willing to spend and absolutely not what you wanted? You saying no then burns that bridge, doesn't it?
If you ever wanted to start a handbag line and didn't know where to start, this is for you.
Living proof that independent designers can make it big.
Absolutely. Blumenthal is one prime example.
If you had dreams of becoming a handbag designer and didn't know where to start, this is for you. If you have a handbag brand and are in need of strategy and direction, this is for you. I'm Emily Blumenthal, handbag fairy godmother and handbag designer expert, and this is Handbag Designer 101, the masterclass. Over the next 10 classes, I will break down everything you need to know how to make, market, and manufacture a handbag. Broken down for you that you'll not only skip steps in that handbag building process, but also save money in that learning curve. For the past 20 years, I've been teaching at the top fashion universities in New York City, created the Handbag Awards, and also the Handbag Designer 101 podcast.
I'm going to show you like I have countless brands from sketch to sample to shelf, whether you're just starting out and don't know where to begin, or even if you have a handbag line and just need some strategic direction, the Handbag Designer 101 Masterclass is just for you. So let's get started and you will be the creator of the next it bag. Join me, Emily Blumenthal, with the Handbag Designer 101 Masterclass.
So it's funny that you said about a croc, because he did tell me, he was like, well, would you like a croc bag or would you like just a regular leather Salier? And I said, you tell me. And he goes, if you use the croc, if something spills on it, you're done. And you spent $6K on the bag. Or do you want something for every day? And I said, I want something for every day. I don't want to carry a bag that I have to like watch where I'm going,
Yeah.
spill something and that 60,000 is completely gone.
Yeah.
So we had this conversation, and when I got to the room, I knew it wasn't a croc bag. And so when he unveiled the box, it was like it was the perfect color. It was like Ito with gold hardware in size 25, which is very hard to get. And I was also told that they're gonna stop making the size 25 in the cellular leather. So that means that bag is worth more now.
Right.
Because they're stopped making that leather. It's harder to make that leather versus a Cartago or a Swift leather.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So again, whatever bag he brought out, number one, you would have to commit to. And whatever the price was, you would have to commit to. It is understood that like whatever I'm bringing, you're taking.
Yeah, you can turn it down. But the thing is, if you were to turn the bag down, like if I was to turn the bag down, I just don't know when I'm going to get offered again.
Right.
And it
You're
might not be
basically,
the color.
and also it's kind of like you're putting a red mark on yourself in their database, like said no.
I
Oh
mean,
my God.
like, especially if you're returning other stuff, and definitely like, says in the system, like you're, returning. So I remember even purchasing like stuff at the Hermès store, you have to make sure you actually want it, because you don't want to come back the next, few days and be like, I don't like this. I need to return this. The same thing with the bag. You're pretty much like, I'm pretty much obligated to buy it, even if I don't love it. And I'm sure the same thing for other people that are, in that moment. But there are people that turn down the bag for a better bag.
Wow.
But I just don't know when they're going to get offered again. It could take up to, let's just say it could take a month. It could take a year. Who knows? It has to be approved by the manager.
So, okay, now at this point, now you get this bag. What is the scoop as to how someone who doesn't have the purchasing power or hasn't spent that kind of money, are they relegated to the circular market, or are they going to someone like you saying, I want a new one? How does all this work? And how did this aha moment after you got your beautiful bag? Like, what happened?
So after he gave me my first Birkin, he told me that in order for me, like, he goes, you can get another bag, but I just gave you one. So we have to pretty much like, you have to spend more money in order to get the second bag. You only get 2 bags a year. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So, I was thinking and thinking, and then he was so nice to me. We had a good connection.
Right.
He spoke Mandarin and I spoke Mandarin. So maybe that's why it helped. But I was just thinking, he offered me other bags that wasn't me at all. And, I sold them. And, because there's always a bag that you get offered that you might not like, but someone else is trying to get.
Right.
And so, I was just telling my husband, I was like, I was adding up the math. I was like, it's crazy how much money I spent. And I got one bag that I love. I'm better off getting it from someone else that I can source it myself for more money. Another, let's just say, instead of buying the bag for 12K, for maybe under 25K, I can actually get a bag that I absolutely love.
Right.
And so I started, doing homework on how to find people that were selling their bags.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all of this now is bypassing the store.
Yes, this is all bypassing the store. Yes.
And all of these bags are brand new bags.
So some clients want brand new. Some clients, they don't mind, getting a bag that's an older stamp. and that's gently used for a lot less. And they can be gently used and they can look brand new too, depending on how you take care of your bags.
So, how do you work into this equation? Are you buying the bag first and holding it as inventory and then reselling it, or are you shopping on behalf of other people and then you get paid a commission?
So I am shopping behalf of other people to get paid commission. I am not purchasing 10 bags and then holding it to sell because that's a lot of money. That's like over 200K to be
That is a
holding.
lot of money. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's insane.
So, for
Um,
instance, a client would reach out to me and say, I want a mini Kelly. I want to go hardware. I was like, what color do you have in mind? Do you want classic colors? They're like, yeah, I'm looking for maybe a black one. And so I'll ask her, do you want gently used or completely brand new with the new stamp? And they'll tell me. And that's when I start finding bags and I'll tell her the price point of how much they cost.
are you doing any negotiating on their behalf?
Oh,
Saying,
yeah,
no, okay, it
absolutely.
so your expertise is here is where it's paying off, where they're like, I know because you need to be an expert within the market to know, okay, here are the bags that at this color new, this is what they cost. Here are those exact bags gently used. That's what their exact cost. If they are in this color, it jacks up the price. If they're in this material, it jacks up the price. Like
Exactly.
all these variables, that's a full-time job to do this. Just out of curiosity, how did you determine what your fee is? Is it a percentage of the overall cost or is it a flat rate? Because I'm sure that took you a minute to figure out the best way to do this.
Yeah, it does take me out of my time, like a couple hours, because every day, because you might not find it within a day or two. And I just do a markup of about 10 to 15% of however much the bag is, sourced for.
So, whatever your padded on fee is still less than what they could get in the store, or it might even be what it costs in the store. However, these people can't get in the store to get it, correct?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. I don't charge a crazy fee, but it also varies on how hard it is for me to find this bag. If it's a special order or a certain color, they don't, because every single season, Hermes makes certain colors. So they'll discontinue some of the colors and some of the leathers.
Right.
So honestly, depending on how hard it is for me to find this bag, and if I can't even find it, well, most likely I'll find it. It's just, matter of time.
Okay, so you're in Florida. You've started doing this on a small level, just within a very small network. How were you able to grow your brand for people to know? Because there's a lot of people that do what you do, right? We know that. There are a lot of like I know someone in the UK that does this. We had her on, I don't know, last year or something. There are a lot of people, experts. How do people find you other than being on here? Because hooray, lucky you that none of them are on, but you are. So, how do people find you? And what differentiates you from other specialty people who have this inside connection?
So people could find me on my Instagram, Chloe at Hermes Ferry.
No, 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 no. But how do people find out about you? Like, because, for what you're doing, you're a specialist, but there are a lot of people that are doing it. So, like, if I was, oh, I wish I could get an Hermes bag. I wish there was someone who could help me. Then what do I do? Like, am I Googling person to help me find Hermes bag? Like, how does someone get to the point of finding Chloe P. Chen? That's my question.
So currently it's through a lot of it is, friends and family. And then also I've worked with a personal stylist at Neiman's and Saks that I still talk to. And anytime they have clients that want a bag, they'll reach out to me. And
That's
then
the
they'll
hook.
send them their contact information. And then, we go on from there. Yeah.
So most of these people are theoretically within the Florida area because that's your relationship.
They could be from all over. I have, someone who bought from me from actually two people from Montreal, Canada.
And they found you through social.
They found me through a friend of a friend. That's what it
Right.
was.
Right,
Yes.
right, right. I
But
call
they
those
know the investment of, investing in the Birkin because,
right.
I mean, you can use it for 10 years, and if you buy it right, you'll still get your money back.
So do you have people contacting you saying, I want to unload this? Can you help?
They, find me first and ask me, what's the price for a certain bag. And then they're, comparing it to other people that are sourcing bags and also the internet. You can, obviously go on Google or on the internet, type in the bag color you want. And for instance, a black mini Kelly, a lot of the internet are selling for 36K or maybe like 30 to 36K, right? But I can get it for a lot less because
Right.
you don't have to pay for eBay or, the internet, they take a certain amount of fee.
Right, 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 right. And then you also get this human connection, and you have someone who's looking on behalf, and you're not going to get duped. And if there's a problem, you have someone to work with you.
Exactly. Yes.
So, what is your official title? Are you a sourcing? Are you a like expert? Like, I'm sorry, because this is so out of my league and I'm being educated at the same time. Are you a broker? Like, what would be the terminology for what exactly you do?
Oh, that's the first time anyone has asked me that. You know, I guess I'm also a broker, a source. I'm all of above. I'm
Right.
your, yeah, handbag sourcer, but I mainly focus on Hermes.
Has someone said, be like, girl, I need a Chanel. Can you hook me up? Are you going to
Oh
be
my God,
like,
absolutely. I have people asking me, like, can you style me? And and I said, you know what? Yes. I love styling people. That's what I started first.
right,
And
right,
people do reach out to me, asking for certain, sunglasses and certain Chanel bags. And I can absolutely try to find that for them as well, because that's my specialty.
right, right. So essentially, you are scouring the interwebs to find these bags from wherever they are. You're dealing with the person who has it. You're going back and forth. In order for you to authenticate, do you need the receipt? Like, will you take a bag if there's no receipt?
I will take a bag if it's without a receipt, but I have to, go through a BB to make sure, or
And
another authenticator to make sure it's legitimate.
so let me ask you, BB is in New York, right? Isn't
Yes,
she?
I believe
Yes.
she lives in
Okay.
New York.
So you find a bag, let's just say in Texas or, Saskatchewan. The bag has to get shipped from said seller to BB, correct? For her to, or does she do it online?
So what they have to do, let's just say they're in Texas and they're the seller. They
Right.
have to take a lot of pictures of the inside stamp, of the leather. I would say about 20, 30 pictures, and then send it to BB. And then she'll go over it. And then she'll email you within 48 hours or so and tell you whether this bag is legitimate or not. So, for
So it's
instance,
all photos.
all photos. Because it's the
Wow.
stitching, the hardware, the
Right.
leather, the crease, all that she looks at.
And is the BB fee something that you cover through your service, or does that get padded on to them?
It gets padded to, for me, like I add that,
Right,
onto the
right, right,
client.
right.
Mhm.
The
It's not that big
authentication.
of a fee, especially if you can
If
uh,
you're dropping 15
purchase
grand.
something over,
Right.
let's say 10K.
Right, right, right,
15.
right. Have have people reached out to you just out of curiosity saying they want to sell a bag, and then you send those pictures to BB and it turns out their bag was fake and they didn't know it?
You know what? I have not yet because I literally just started my business about 2 months ago.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, happy to have you on board. This is exciting. I'm glad to be part of your journey. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Well,
So,
uh,
it's just one day I woke up, I'm like, "I'm doing this for people, friends and family. I can probably do it for other people too."
yeah,
But I have yet had anyone came to me and are like, "Can you help me sell the bag?" But I would love that.
right, right. Oh my God, Chloe, this is so exciting. I'm so excited to have a sourcing broker, elevated expert, the whole thing. This is super cool. How can people find you, follow you, if they want to get their hands on a brand new or slightly used, gently used Hermes bag, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, thank you for having me. People can find me on my Instagram at Chloe at the Hermes Fairy.
Chloe at the Hermes Fairy.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
So it's
Okay.
Chloe. So it's Chloe, the Hermes Fairy.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, I can't wait to see the bags that you're getting your hands on. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of happy customers coming your way as a result of this.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Hopefully this, podcast, there will be people that watch it and they'll find me on my Instagram.
I'm sure they will. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate and review and follow us on every single platform at Handbag Designer. Thanks so much. See you next time.